Hello students, I welcome all of you to the second session of Work and Energy. Hope all of you have completed your classworks with whatever concepts taught in the session 1. Let us continue with session 2. In today's session, you are going to learn these concepts. Energy, the meaning of energy and its SI unit, different forms of energy, mechanical energy, kinetic energy, formula for kinetic energy, where you will be learning the derivation of the formula of the kinetic energy, that is half mv square, and this derivation is very important. Important conclusions based on kinetic energy. After that, finally you are going to learn the numericals based on kinetic energy equation. So let us start one by one. So what is energy? Energy in physics is the capacity to do work. If a person can do a lot of work, we say that he has a lot of energy, isn't it? Or we also say he is very energetic. In physics also, anything which is able to do work is said to possess energy. Therefore, energy is the ability to do work. Let us take one example to understand it more clearly. To cut a log of wood into small pieces, we have to raise the axe vertically above the log of wood, isn't it? And some work has to be done in raising the axe. If the axe is now allowed to fall on the wood, what will happen? It can do work in cutting the wood. Thus, the work is done in raising the axe has been stored up in it, giving it the ability to do work. When the axe is resting on the log of wood, can it cut the wood? No, it can no longer do any work of cutting. To give it the ability to do work, work has to be done in raising it above the log of wood once again. We say that the raised axe has the energy or ability for doing work. The amount of energy possessed by a body is equal to the amount of work it can do when its energy is released. So it should be noted that whenever work is done, energy is consumed. A body having energy can do work like this. A body which possesses energy can exert a force on another object. During this process, some of the energy of the body will be transferred to the object. By gaining the energy, the object will move, and when the object is moving, the work is said to be done. So what is energy? Energy is the ability to do work. So it is clear that the capacity to do work or to produce heat is called as energy, and this energy is measured in joules. As I told you all in the previous session, it is named after the scientist James Prescott Joule, and one of the non-common units of energy is the calorie. But usually we use joule only whenever you are studying it in physics. And hope all of you know what are scalars and vector quantities. A scalar quantity is a quantity that has only magnitude, but a vector quantity will have both magnitude and direction. So here are a few examples for scalar quantities and vector quantities. So energy has only magnitude, but it doesn't have any particular direction. So which type of quantity it is? It is definitely going to be a scalar quantity. So energy is a scalar quantity associated with the state of an object. And don't forget that the SI unit of energy is joules. It is named after the scientist James Prescott Joule. So the different forms of energy are electrical energy, thermal energy, light energy, wave energy, wind energy, solar energy, tidal energy, biomass energy, mechanical energy. Mechanical energy is of two types, that is kinetic energy and potential energy. It is not basically of two types. Both kinetic energy and potential energy together is called as mechanical energy. In this chapter you are going to learn in detail about kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy, its definition, its derivation, and problems based on kinetic energy. Similarly, potential energy, its derivation, that is the equation of potential energy, and problems based on potential energy. After that, you will be learning about energy transformation and power. So let us start with kinetic energy now. A moving cricket ball can do work in pushing back the stumps, isn't it? So moving water can do work in turning a turbine for generating electricity. Similarly, moving wind can do work in turning the blades of the windmill. Therefore, a moving body is capable to do work. So what can you say about kinetic energy then? The energy of a body due to its motion is called kinetic energy. So hope all of you are knowing now why the word kinetic is usually given for speed or anything which is moving. It is also one of the vehicle's name, isn't it? So kinetic means something which is moving, and kinetic energy is the energy that objects possess due to their motion. And the equation of kinetic energy is half mv square, where m is mass, which is measured in kg, v is velocity, which is measured in meter per second, and kinetic energy is usually written symbolically as ke. And whichever type of energy it is measured in joules. So all the forms of energy is measured in joules. And you should remember, joule is named after the scientist James Prescott Joule. So you can see the images of a moving cricket ball, runners possessing kinetic energy, and the motorcycle which is moving, which is also possessing kinetic energy. So what can you say about kinetic energy? Anything which is in motion will be having kinetic energy. So a moving hammer drives a nail into the wood. Why? Because of its kinetic energy. And a moving bullet can penetrate even a steel plate due to its kinetic energy, which is because of account of its highest speed. In fact, every object around us which is moving will definitely possess kinetic energy. So you can say every object around us which has speed possesses kinetic energy. For example, a runner has kinetic energy, a running motorcycle has kinetic energy, a falling stone has kinetic energy, and an arrow flying through the air also has kinetic energy. So when a moving body is brought to rest, that is when it is stopped by an opposing force, the kinetic energy will be lost. So this is about kinetic energy, its definition and its meaning. You should also be remembering this equation, kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. But you should be having a doubt why it is half mv square, isn't it? So that doubt will be cleared when you learn about the derivation, how it is half mv square. So when you know the derivation, it will be very easy to remember the equation properly. Let us proceed with the derivation of kinetic energy equation. So all of us know kinetic energy means it is the energy of a body which is moving, isn't it? So now let us learn how to derive the equation for this kinetic energy. So we know that kinetic energy of a body is moving with a certain velocity is equal to the work done on it to acquire that velocity. That means kinetic energy is nothing but work done in moving an object, isn't it? So work done in this case is nothing but kinetic energy. So whenever you are moving an object, it will definitely possess kinetic energy, and when there is a displacement, definitely we tell it as work done, isn't it? You studied about work done in detail in your previous session. So here in this case, work done is nothing but kinetic energy. So work done in moving an object is nothing but kinetic energy. So now let us see how to derive the equation for this kinetic energy. I had just now told you all kinetic energy is half mv square, isn't it? So you will be knowing that why it is half mv square now. So for this we shall consider a body which is moving, which has a mass m, and it is moving from rest. So anything which is moving will definitely start from rest. So we shall consider the body's mass to be m, and it is moving from rest to the velocity v. that is final velocity v. So work done by the body will be definitely equal to the kinetic energy here. So you should be knowing all the symbols here very clearly. Mass of the body is written using the symbol m, small m. Initial velocity of the body is written using the symbol u, small u, and since it is starting from the rest here, it is going to be 0. The value of u is 0. And final velocity, that is the final velocity of the object after moving, that is, it is going to be small v. And distance covered and displacement, both these are usually written using the symbol small s. You studied about work done in your previous session, isn't it? Do you remember what is the equation of work done? Work done is the product of force and the distance covered, that is the displacement, how much ever the body has moved from the initial position to the final position. So you should be knowing that work done is the product of force and distance. So work done is equal to force into distance. All of you know what is force, isn't it? What is the equation of force? F is equal to ma, where m is mass and a is acceleration. So we are going to replace this force with mass and acceleration here. So that is work done is going to be mass into acceleration into distance. Force is replaced with mass into acceleration. Distance is carried down as it is. So work done is equal to mass into acceleration into distance. Mass is written using the symbol small m. Acceleration is written using the symbol small a, and distance is written using the symbol s, small s. Now we don't know the values of m and s here, so but a, we can write a in different form. So how do we get that different form? We will see that now here. All of you know that there are three equations of motion, isn't it? So here we are going to use one of the equations of motion here to get the value of a, that is acceleration. So we know that v, u and s, we have all these here, isn't it? We have initial velocity, we have final velocity, and we have some distance covered. So which is the equation of motion which has these three? That is v, u and s. Definitely the third equation of motion, which is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. And in our derivation, the body is moving from rest, isn't it? So if you start substituting the values here, we don't know the values of any other quantities. We are going to write the symbol as it is. But u, we know it is 0. So it is going to be v square minus 0 square is equal to 2as. So since 0 is 0, whatever you multiply to that or whatever power is raised to that. So v square minus 0 square is nothing but v square only. So it is going to be v square is equal to 2as. But now we want the value for acceleration, isn't it? Here we have 2as together. We want the value of a. So what we will do is, we will retain a as it is in RHS, bring 2 and s, that is 2s to LHS. Since 2s is related with multiplication here, what happens to that when it goes to LHS? It is going to be divided. So a is equal to v square by 2s. So this is going to be the value for acceleration. So get back to this equation. We have mass into acceleration into distance, isn't it? And we have already kept value for a ready here. That is a is equal to v square by 2s, and we got this from this equation, that is third equation of motion. And now we know that work done is mass into acceleration into distance, isn't it? So write that again. Work done is equal to mass into acceleration into distance. And what is the work done in this case? The work done here is nothing but kinetic energy. We know the symbol of mass is m, and acceleration we just got now here, that it is v square by 2s. So we are going to write it as v square by 2s, and distance we know that it is s, and all these three quantities are related with multiplication symbol. So write that into here and here. Now what and all can be cancelled here? S and s can be cancelled, isn't it? So after cancelling s and s, what will be remaining? M v square by 2 will be remaining, isn't it? So mv square by 2 is nothing but half mv square. And what is the work done here? It is kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is the work. So kinetic energy is going to be half mv square. So this is how you derive the equation of kinetic energy using the third equation of motion. So this derivation can be asked for 3 marks. You are going to write all these in detail whenever you are doing any derivation. You just can't start only from the equation without explaining the terms. So all these should be written in detail, and then you have to derive and keep the equation like this towards the end. So this is about the derivation of kinetic energy, that is kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Hope it is clear to you all. So we have just learnt about the derivation of kinetic energy, isn't it? That is kinetic energy is half mv square. So from this formula it is very clear that the kinetic energy of the body is directly proportional to the mass of the body, and the kinetic energy of a body is directly proportional to the square of the velocity of the body. So you can also say square of the speed of the body. Since energy is scalar, you can usually say speed also and velocity also. So you should be remembering kinetic energy of a body is directly proportional to the mass of the body and also directly proportional to the square of the velocity of the body, which can also be told as square of the speed of the body also. Since the kinetic energy of the body is directly proportional to its mass, therefore what happens when its mass is doubled? If the mass is doubled, the kinetic energy also gets doubled. And if the mass of the body is halved, its kinetic energy will also get halved. Why? Because they both are directly proportional. Since the kinetic energy of the body is directly proportional to the square of the velocity, therefore what happens when velocity increases? If the velocity of the body is doubled, its kinetic energy also will be doubled. That means it is going to be 4 times because it is square, isn't it? And if the velocity of the body is halved, then its kinetic energy will become 1/4. So it is obvious that doubling the velocity has a greater effect on the kinetic energy of a body than doubling its mass. So if you want to increase the kinetic energy, it is better to increase the speed than increasing the mass. So since the kinetic energy of the body depends on its mass and velocity, therefore heavy bodies moving with high velocities will have more kinetic energy than slow moving bodies of smaller masses. So this is the reason why a blacksmith uses a heavier hammer than the one used by a goldsmith. It has been found that a driver increases the speed of his car on approaching a hilly road. Have you ever wondered why it is? So you can see the image here. This car is going up the hill. So in addition to the friction and air resistance, it has also to do work against gravity. So a driver increases the speed of the car on approaching a hilly road to give more kinetic energy to the car so that it may go up the hill against the force of gravity. You can also see an image of a running elephant here, isn't it? So the kinetic energy of this running elephant depends on the mass of the elephant and its speed of running. Actually, the kinetic energy is directly proportional to the mass of the elephant and the square of its speed with which it is running. So this elephant, approximately of mass 2000 kg, running at a speed of 5 meter per second, will have a kinetic energy of 25,000 joules. So how did we get this 25,000 joules? Just now you learnt about the equation, isn't it? That is half mv square. So if you substitute the value of mass and the speed of elephant, you can find the kinetic energy of the elephant. Let us solve a problem based on kinetic energy. The question is like this. Calculate the kinetic energy of a body of mass 2 kg moving with a velocity of 0.1 meter per second. So it is very clear in the question that the mass is given and the velocity is given. So velocity is given as 0.1 meter per second and kinetic energy you are going to find using mass and velocity of this moving object. So we know that the formula for calculating kinetic energy is half mv square, and mass is given here, it is 2 kg, m is equal to 2 kg. The symbol of mass is small m, and velocity is given here, it is 0.1 meter per second, that is v is equal to 0.1 meter per second. Now don't confuse telling v is final velocity, we don't have u here. So whenever there is only one velocity given, you're going to take it as v only. You're not going to confuse it with u. So we will be writing it as v is equal to 0.1 meter per second as it is given in the question. Now we will just substitute these values in this equation to find the kinetic energy. So m value is 2 and v value is 0.1, but we have here v square. So 0.1 will be whole squared like this. So half into 2 into 0.1 the square. So you are going to simplify this, and so that you are going to get the answer as 0.01. Don't forget to write the unit. You are calculating kinetic energy, so you are going to keep it in joule. So if you are going to write it as a word, you are going to write like this, and if you are going to write it as a symbol, you are going to write just capital J like this. So this is how you calculate kinetic energy when the values of mass and velocity is given in the question. So questions can be like this, where kinetic energy and mass can be given and you will be asked to find velocity. Likewise, if kinetic energy and velocity is given, you will be asked to find mass. So there are three quantities here: mass, velocity and kinetic energy. Any two can be given, and the third one, which is not given, can be asked to find. So let us consider one more problem. How much work should be done on a bicycle of mass 20 kg to increase its speed from 2 meter per second to 5 meter per second? So it is clearly given. Ignore air resistance and friction because these are opposing forces. So ignore those and just find out how much work should be done on this bicycle to increase its speed, that is 2 meter per second to 5 meter per second. So let us see how to calculate and find out the answer. So we know that whenever work is done in moving, that is work done is nothing but the kinetic energy. So in this case, the work done will be equal to the change in kinetic energy of the bicycle when its speed changes from 2 meter per second to 5 meter per second. So the mass of the bicycle is given. So let us consider this in two cases. In first case, we shall find out what is the kinetic energy. In second case, we shall find out what is the work done in changing the speed. Okay. So first we shall find out the kinetic energy of this bicycle. So mass of bicycle is m is equal to 20 kg. Speed of the bicycle, that is initial speed, which is given as 2 meter per second. We will take it as 2 meter per second here. And we know that kinetic energy, you can write the symbol as Ke or Ek. There is no any hard rule for that. So you can write it as Ek or Ke. Both means kinetic energy only. So we know the formula for kinetic energy is half mv square. Substitute the values of mass and velocity. So mass is 20 and velocity is 2. That is the initial velocity. So v square, so it is going to be 2 square. And when you simplify this, you are going to get 40 joules. So the kinetic energy when the bicycle is moving with 2 meter per second speed is 40 joules. In second case, that is with the changed velocity. What is the changed velocity? It is 5 meter per second, isn't it? So we will be changing only this value. Mass remains same because it is on the same bicycle. So mass of the bicycle will be m is equal to 20 kg. Speed of the bicycle will be 5 meter per second, that is v is equal to 5 meter per second. Substitute these two values in kinetic energy equation and find out kinetic energy, that is half into m into v square. So half into 20 into 5 square, because v is 5 here, so v square is going to be 5 square. And the answer when you simplify is going to be 250 joules. So here they are asking you to find the work done when there is a change in the speed. So how will you find out this work done? You are going to subtract these two values to find out the change in work done. So work done is change in the kinetic energy, that is 250 joules minus 40 joules. So it is going to be 210 joules. Therefore, the work done when the speed is changed from 2 meter per second to 5 meter per second is 210 joules. Hope it is clear to you all. See you all in the next session with the next concept, that is potential energy. So till then you are going to complete your work in the classwork by writing all these problems whatever you see here, and complete the notes of this chapter as well. See you all in the next session. Thank you.